your second time. You're all having a great time. That's right. Black horse. Shame. I like pizza. Okay, I'm here today to present on the Raspberry Pi's InfoSec tool, the good, the bad, and the ugly. First of all, a little introduction about myself. Who am I? I'm a former IT geek turned InfoSec geek. I spent many years working in the infrastructure side of things, and I'm from Cape Breton. My former employer is actually here, AG Research, and my former coworker, Rob McKinnon. And I eventually turned in, I was started looking after more and security side of things, so I'm now full-time in InfoSec. I'm currently a research engineer compliance with Temple Network Security. I normally work with the Nessus product line. And so if anyone has any questions about Nessus or anything else Temple offers, come find me after the talk. I'm also thinking we could maybe put some state references in the reporting for Nessus. I can actually do that. And I'm also a board member for the Linux Security Conference. I'll mention that. I'm one of 3 board members here, Travis and Andrew Cosma. So I think it's last 2 Thursdays in March, or Thursday, Friday in March. So we'd love to see as many people as can attend from here. And I'm also as Mark mentioned, I'm a CISSP, I'm also CISA, and a former QSA. Please don't hold that against me. And I have one of those mythical jobs that I actually work full-time from home. I'm on a virtual team with Temple. Okay, and here's the details on Pi for those who don't know. It's a credit card size space simple board computer developed in the UK by the Raspberry Pi Foundation. It was mainly to promote the teaching of basic computer science in schools. There's actually a movement from Cape Breton in Sydney called Cape Breton Hackathon. They're having their second annual in November, actually November 9th, where a lot of developers, it's a day-long event where a lot of groups go in that have an idea for a project, they'll go and work on it, mainly using the Pi as a platform. And at the end of the night, around 9 o'clock at night, they actually vote, they do presentations on the projects, and they'll actually vote, and whoever wins the best project will actually get to take home the hardware. So there's actually some kind of a homegrown movement in Cape Breton, which I'm hoping to get involved with soon. And like the graphic capabilities of the Pi, they're not great. They're approximately roughly equivalent of maybe your first generation Xbox. The real world performance, it's something like a 300 megahertz Pentium 2. And it boots from an SD card, it plays via HDMI or composite video. It does sound via HDMI or standard 3.5 millimeter jack, and also has USB, Ethernet, and you can do Wi-Fi via USB adapter. And also has a 700 megahertz ARM11 processor with depends on the model. There's a Model A, has 256 megabytes of RAM, or Model B, which has 512. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question here. It says why Pi? How many of you here have Pi already? Now, for those who have one, when you initially ordered it, did you know what you were going to do with it? Did you have any? Yeah. That's me. When I ordered, I was like, oh, great. I want to order this. This is really cool. So I went to order it, and I got it. I was like, great. So what do I do with it? There's this huge list of projects, but I was just more effectively, oh, that's cool. I'm going to get hands on one. So after purchasing mine, it sat on my desk for like 2 months. Collecting dust, because I wasn't sure what to do with it. And so basically, why would you do Pi? It's cheap. The Model A runs $25 US. Model B runs approximately $35 US. And it's small. It's literally the size of a credit card. And I really supposed to story about this. I was going to bring mine with me. I went to look for it. I can't find it. It's probably stuck in a drawer somewhere in my house, and the worst thing is, I got a black enclosure for it. Now, I wish I didn't get a black enclosure for it, because I have no clue. That's how small it is. It's like, this big. And you can actually run Linux on it. You can do Raspbian, which is based on Debian. There's one called Fedora, which is based on Fedora. There's also, it can run Arch Linux, it can also run Kali Linux. It can also run, you can have it as a home theater PC running XBMC, working via like PBX, a proxy server, an FTP server. I could go on and on about it. So this is the first one that kind of interested me. It's iPhone tethering. Now each example I'll bring up here, I will actually at the end, I'll have my website address, my blog address. I'll have all the links there for any of these projects. So if you want to go ahead and check them out for yourself, I'll have my address at the end of the talk. So this works with iPhone 4 or 5, any iPhone with personal hotspot capabilities. And the way it was designed, so it's plug and play. You install a few packages, which I won't get into here. This will be a very high level talk. It's not no deep dive here. It's just a few packages are available in the standard Debian repositories. And you just a couple of config files, do a little bit of tweaks to allow the hot plugging. So basically how it will work, you plug in the iPhone, it automatically runs the script, bang, bang, you get a connection out to the internet using your data on the iPhone. Now, the good about this is you can get internet access anywhere. So if you could, if you weren't anywhere there was Wi-Fi, as long as there's good cell data coverage, or if you have a network drop, you could just take your Pi with you, plug it in, plug in your iPhone. You could have, internet access right there. Now, the bad about this, it would be data exfiltration without logging. Really, you would have no logging. But you could take it, say if you actually dropped it into, you managed to get into, say, a client site, or you're trying to do some social engineering, trying to decide you want to get some data, or if you need some testing, you can just plug it into their network, get some information, plug the iPhone in, boom, export the data out. That's it. They have no way to monitor it. Well, unless you're the NSA or CSEC, possible. And also I knew about your drinking game, that's why I mentioned it. I heard you talk about it earlier. And also, the ugly about this, it's data exfiltration with no logging. Like, really, think about it, how dangerous that could actually be. You have no record. Like, if somebody took this into your infrastructure, dropped it in place, then you would have no idea it was gone until it was too late. Now, of course, pen testing. You can use the Pi as a pen test platform. It runs the usual Kali Linux, Raspberry Pi, and it runs the usual utility. You can run the social engineering toolkit, Fast Track. You can run Wireshark, OpenVPN, CryptCat. You can run. The list is huge. Except if you want to use the graphics, especially the graphics capabilities of Kali Linux, it's not exactly a powerhouse there. So mainly you just want to use the command line. And so the good about it is it's a low-cost, low-power, highly portable pen testing platform, or a little drop box. You can just drop it in, hide it. And the bad part about it is maybe not all the utilities work to the full potential. Like if you actually want to run Metasploit, first time trying to execute, after first install, you try to execute the database. Probably prepared to wait for a long time for it to actually process, get ready to go. And as with the ugly part about it, as with any pen test platform, you can bring down networks if you don't know what you're doing. I wouldn't go and just plug this in, start playing with it, unless it's your own home network. Now, this is the glass-top honeypot. This is a web server that's written in Python. It logs your usual web-based application attacks, so SQL injection, remote code execution, remote file inclusion, etc. It's web app vulnerability, honeypot. Now the good about this is it's same thing. It's low cost, low power. You can place it up on top of a rack. Somewhere if you're at a client site or something like that, you could actually place it up on top of the rack and click the logs, come back and get it. And of course, it draws attention. It is a honeypot, so that's the problem with it there. But of course, that's what you want. If you're putting in a honeypot, that's what you want. You want to actually be able to get these logs. And the ugly part, if you're not careful, it can bring you a lot of hurt. Put it in your DMZ, please. And this here is pretty self-explanatory, this picture here. This here is where you could actually install, this is a project where you could actually install a Pi in a gutted power brick for a laptop. Now it does involve a bit of hardware hacking. You you have to basically do some soldering of the power connections using the USB. But you could place this behind a plant under a desk. Like this would be, say if you're doing some red teaming or getting in a client site, you could place it under a desk behind a plant, anywhere there's a network jack, internet access, you plug it in, then you configure it. As soon as it's plugged in, it will automatically set up a reverse SSH tunnel to a Linux server they have set up in the config file with external IP. So the good part of this, it's perfect for doing some, for penetration testing, etc. The bad part is it gets your local IP via DHCP. So this may be quickly detected, but you really don't need much time to do what you want to do some damage if you know what you're doing. And ugly, well, it's in a power bank enclosure. Look at it, it's just ugly. Okay, now I'm going to run, this is a demo running. It's actually based on this little thing. This has kind of got me interested since what I do with Tenable. I work with the vulnerability scanner. So this is actually an open source vulnerability scanner that utilizes Nmap. It utilizes the freely available offline vulnerability databases such as MITRE.org, Security Focus, and Security Tracker. You can also create and reference your own databases, which I will get into during this talk. Now, I did have to cheat here a little bit because you cannot easily emulate or create a virtual machine to run this platform. And I'll be using VirtualBox for this. But I have actually run this on Pi myself. So it does work. I'm just, for demo purposes, I will be running VirtualBox just to show you what it can do. And I will be using, I'm just running on a Debian, and the target will be a Metasploitable VM. Okay, let's see. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, I'll do some. Now I'm also cheating here too. I'm using the Nmap front end just more for display purposes, so I can show you the amount of data that will come up. Okay, of course I'm going to have to kind of look at the screen there, see what I'm typing. Just bear with me here, folks. Actually, this pulls the database. The VolScan database, I don't know if you can see it there, probably not. There's a folder I created called VolScan, which has the databases, which I previously downloaded. Okay, it just takes a minute here. So I figured I just got to change the screen settings here. I'm going to bring it over here and duplicate it. I can't really see there what I'm typing. So just bear with me here 1 moment. The demo gods are not smiling on me. Let's go type into here and I'll bring it over to the screen. While waiting here, so has anyone else used up their Pi for any kind of information security testing or anything like that? No. I think everyone uses it for a media center. I'll be up here in a second. So who's going to the after party tonight? Show of hands. Oh, come on, more people come. That, come on. Come on. There we go. There, it actually came up here. I know it's probably going to be hard to see there, isn't it? As you can see here, it lists, I'm just kind of going through it really quickly here. And as I said, it will actually be on my website then. You can actually download these scripts. So this here just goes through. It does, like, the only thing is, the reporting is actually not very good. And it's hard to see here. That's why I kind of did in this. So if I showed you at a terminal, there's no way I could actually scroll through all these. So as you can see there, it does bring up a lot of the information. Normally Nmap doesn't do that. So it's more of a low-cost vulnerability scanner, well, as in free. So that's just one of the things you can do. Now, the good about this, as I said, it's low-cost, highly portable vulnerability assessment tool that anyone can pretty much use. The bad part is you have to manually update the vulnerability databases. You can't just on MacLeod, you'll have to go and search for them, download them, install them on the fly. And the ugly part, of course, is the text mode only results. There's no fancy reporting like you would see in, say, for example, Nessus. So it's if you're trying to self-destruct management. This will be good for doing even the baseline and say, okay, we need to get another more powerful tool to do this. So we've got problems there. And so that's pretty much it. That's all my talk. It's in the end, it's I say, it's a low-cost, fun piece of hardware. You can play with it. There's literally hundreds of things you can do with the Pi, and especially when it comes to the information security side of things. And that's my website up top if you want to find the links for any of these projects that I just described. There's my Twitter handle, and there's my email address. So if you have any questions or anything like that, come see me.